this is, get an opportunity to fucking, you want to put that in your car?
No, I'll just carry it because I don't want to make the bees too hot. I'll just,
it's like
a little purse.
I was going to say, they're like your little pets.
Yeah, they're my little Barneys.
Let me
my little doctors.
Slate this.
Got Dr. Stripes, Dr. Stinger, Dr. Wings.
Mark? Wait, let me do it again. Mark? Great.
Cool.
Yeah. So my little camp spoon and a knife, so I feel like that. It's all themed.
You don't want to do just like does a clap not work?
So I find with human flesh doing this, the actual waveform in the audio is a little sloppy.
Gotcha.
So this
doesn't
just
give
getting
exact.
I work in post-production, so I've noticed that with the actual clapper, you get a real, like, one distinct, like, it literally on really good slates, it's like one frame.
Huh.
Yeah, so I was
nice.
like, let me find some percussive thing that I could do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because, also, originally when we started, my partner's recorder is a little bit older, so it would have a little more drift. So I found that I had to kind of, we would do every 45 minutes, we would reslate because the drift would be, like a half a second or something. But that's enough to cause a good chunk of
work.
Realigning
everything.
Exactly. Get rid of the phasing.
That's insane that it would drift.
Well, I think it's just more that it's an older
recorder
box that has just whatever its internal clock is slowed down.
Did it distort the voices then?
So it does a thing called phasing.
Okay.
So it would be like, and again, you only hear the phasing when both the mics come together. So what it is like if you're talking and you're out of sync with my recorder, it would sound like an echoey, like, wah, 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 like it's like you could hear like an echoey kind of thing. And it's basically phasing where it's like two audio clips are out of sync with each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, I work in post. I'm like, it became easy like when he's on a little hiatus right now because he got really bad poison oak. But my producing partner, when we kind of decided on this, he didn't realize how much post-production skill and experience I had.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could get the equipment, I can make it happen, I could do it like this.
Yeah, nice.
And it became super easy. And now that he's on hiatus, I'm like trying to get guests on, and I've done 3 solo hikes where I just talk for 45 minutes.
Oh, nice. That's
fun.
Probably cathartic.
Yeah, no, and I think it's like kind of like a journaling / because I think it tickles the performance vibe just a little bit. It is good to have good conversations with. Watch out, Barney. Oh,
He's
poor
so
little guy.
Cute.
Poor little guy. It's okay. Oh. Look at that. He's excited
so
and afraid. And again, like Barney's doing a thing where he's letting the guy be a little like, "Hey, get over here."
Aww.
He was not being like aggressive on the little dude.
Does he get aggressive sometimes?
Oh, with bigger dogs for sure.
Oh, I see.
He's got a real attitude for big dogs.
Napoleon complex?
Yeah, well, yes, for sure. I think it's like that's the only trick that, because he's kind of a dominant dog in general.
Alpha.
And so it's the only trick that little dogs have against big dogs is to be like, "Fuck you! Fuck you!" Right?
That's my trick I use.
Yeah, right? It works. I mean, you've got a pretty powerful personality. So it's like, whatever. It's funny. I hike a lot with Margot, and
I love Margot.
She's small too, and we talk a lot about how it's almost like you have to compensate for both being a lady and being smaller.
Yeah.
And it's like it's. I think it's a big deal. I get a lot of natural kind of people just backing away from me because of my size and the tattoos, and I kind of look like a fucking thug
I don't think
at
anybody
times.
want to fuck with you.
Well, it's funny, but there are certain people who specifically want to fuck with me because they want to assert their dominance.
Oh wow!
But I've gotten very good at just being like, "Sorry, sir, I'll be out here." I avoid a lot of danger in a lot of different, interesting ways. I mean, I've only been in one fight in my life. So.
Oh, like, you mean physical fight?
Yeah, I mean with somebody who wasn't my brother.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah,
What was that?
It was just some fucking kid in fucking elementary school. You know, he punched me in the face, and I cried. And that was the end of the fight. So I was a fucking big old smarty pants. I was like a fucking actually, you know, like that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Let's go. There's a trail right here. You see the little fence right there?
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I think that takes us to the secret fucking. There's a little secret. I'm gonna carry Barney across the street.
Okay.
Come here, bud.
Oh my God!
What a cutie pie! I got you.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Barney!
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, Barney is the cutest.
Yeah, and we just got him groomed, so he's got his line cut his back.
Line cut, nice.
So I'm gonna say something kind of creepy, kooky. Like I have always been afraid of like touching Barney's dick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's normal. I think.
Yeah.
It's like they say that about people with pure O, like pure OCD.
Oh yeah.
Have a lot of people have this fear to molest kids.
Yes.
And it comes from having like higher morals.
Yes.
And it comes from not wanting to do, like so badly not wanting to do that they're afraid. They're so afraid that they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's in religion there's a term called. Oh, God, it'll come to me. But yeah, so part of that was like, you know, if somebody accidentally touched my dick or whatever, I'd just be like, you know. But then I realized, like, if I rub his belly or whatever and I do it,
he doesn't care.
He doesn't even fucking care. And the only reason I brought that up is because obviously the groomer has to go down and just like trim up all the stuff. So they're like,
he looks so cute.
Yeah. So it made me realize it's like, oh. All of this, like, kind of like dominance, humping, and stuff like that. He doesn't have any balls. He doesn't like. It doesn't have any meaning for him.
Yeah, dogs don't even think about that. Yeah, I was wary of the same thing when I was watching Ian Bracci's dog. I was like, oh, don't want to touch his dick.
Don't touch his dick.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But I love to rub his belly. You know.
Yeah. But then you get that thing like is it like it's almost like bringing the human scrupulosity. So there's this idea in like a lot of like orthodoxy kind of Catholicism, the way the OCD manifests itself is they want to be like perfectly sinless and confess all of their sins.
Yeah.
And they want to, so they have this scrupulousness that is like a level of OCD. It's like religious
I think that's
OCD.
where mine comes from.
Oh, okay. You were raised
Catholic, and I have like I've never been properly diagnosed, but whenever my mystery illness first onset, I was having really bad panic attacks where I was afraid of that I might murder somebody or that I might touch a kid. And I wouldn't leave my house because I was so plagued by it. But
this is amazing because I think as performers, we're almost like trying to seek some kind of closure to whatever this trauma that we had in our life, try to take control over it somehow, some way. And I think, Catholicism in and of itself could be a pretty traumatic kind of like. And I'll say this: I was raised Christian, but my mom was Catholic, so we had this hint of Catholicism in the background, and they were divorced, so it was always this kind of weird energy. But I had a lot of. I just wrote an autobiography about making a deal with the devil when I was 11 years old.
Oh my God!
So,
did you really?
I did.
I was obsessed with the devil too.
Right?
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So what did you do?
So the what I wrote about it, and it's kind of like part memory, part imagination, part kind of like almost like a CSI crime scene, looking back at my life and going like, that was me thinking that I was the devil, like that kind of thing. So what I kind of parsed together is in the 70s, because I'm an old man, there was all kinds of fucking devil imagery and devil music. Fucking Van Halen had a song like "Running with the Devil." Fucking "Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. Sympathy for the devil." Fucking, it was everywhere. There was an episode, and I found My Devil by going through the internet. There was an episode of Fantasy Island. Do you know this show?
No.
Okay, so it was they based the movie that just came out. Jordan Peele just made a kind of fantasy horror movie based on it. So it was a companion piece to The Love Boat. You've heard of The Love Boat, right?
Yes.
So it was this island where people would go and have their fantasies played out for them. But it was kind of like an Henry kind of thing.
Sexual fantasy?
No, like this woman wanted to be like, she was a secretary at some company, and she was like, I want to be a CEO. So they basically give her the fantasy of running this company. And the way they set it up in some ways is kind of like, oh yeah, you're
like a
really
stressful job.
You know, sure, but you're really running this company. But then it's always like these O. Henry tales where you get your wish, but then there's some darkness on the back end of it.
Oh, you get to see that the other side's not so green.
Yeah, but again, I think with the title like Fantasy Island, you think it's going to be just like fucking orgy mouth fucking island. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm going to Fantasy Island. But so in Fantasy Island, so Mr. Rourke is played by Ricardo Montalban, who played Khan in the Wrath of Khan. Did you ever watch the original Star Trek movie?
No,
Again, this is all old. This is all old guy shit. This is all old guy shit. No, but again, no, but this is.
I should know Star Trek. I should know that.
Yeah, but so he played Khan in the movie and in the TV series from the 60s.
Khan. Does that help?
Khan! So when Ricardo Montalban died, all the fucking memes on the internet were just of William Shatner yelling, Khan!
Wow.
So Mr. Rourke, he's kind of this mysterious trickster character that brings people their fantasies, is in a white suit and a black tie. He kind of has like trickster devil energy, but then his boss, or the guy that is fucking with him, is an actor, Roddy McDowall, who is just a very famous character actor that's been in like 500 different projects. He was like one of my favorite actors when I was a kid, because he's just a working man, just like he's in everything. TV shows, movies. He played Dr. Zaius in fucking the original Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh, wow.
Like, he's just been in everything, and he's just one of those guys that just does everything. He comes on with like red lighting for the face, little horns, and a black suit with a white tie. So he's kind of this oppositional colors from Mr. Rourke.
Yes.
I found this picture on the fucking internet, and I was like, that's the devil who visited me. So what happened was I was in like Michigan visiting family while my mother was studying for the bar exam.
Oh, wow.
She just sent us away for a summer so that she could study and take the test.
That's great.
And it was wonderful.
Smart move.
Me and my brother, I was 11 years old. It was the reason I know what year it was is because I watched the marriage of, oh, look at this cutie pie.
Aww.
Just laying in a pile of mud, trying to keep cool. He's like a poser. He's like, hello, I'm just going to pose right here.
He's so cute.
But, so it was when Princess Lady Diane got married. It was the biggest wedding ever on television live. I watched it at my cousin's house, so I knew the date that this went down. And I was 11 years old. So what happened, I was having sleep paralysis, real bad.
When you wake up, but you're feeling...
but you can't move your body, and you're like trapped looking... Have you ever had?
Yes, I have had it.
Yeah. See, I feel like those of us with religious... upbringings plus sleep paralysis get that fucking devil obsession. I have a theory.
I woke up but couldn't see. I was awake but
your mind was going like the whole time.
Yeah, my eyes didn't.
Yeah,
so it was scary. Yeah,
I used to have it a lot, especially when I was going through my growth spurts, and I've done a lot of research on it, and it turns out you tend to get sleep paralysis when there is it's a physical thing that happens but operates on a mental level. So it's almost like your body is incapable of turning on the motor functions. Like, that's why it's paralysis, because typically when you're asleep, your body is in head and body paralysis, so that when you're dreaming, you're not like flailing around.
Right.
So that it's basically, it shuts that part off, but then that part doesn't turn on fast enough, and your brain is just like, ah! So what typically would happen to me is I would dip in and out of like panic, paranoia, anxiety, fantasy. Then I'd fall asleep and I'd dream. This also led to me having some lucid dreaming when I was in my late teens, early 20s, to try to control some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But the images that would come into my head were fucking monsters and and I was a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, and so and I had a fucking very powerful imagination. So my brain was just going just like the craziest thing. And then just this one night, I'm laying there, and the fucking devil shows up in my fucking cousin's living room, sitting on the end of the couch. And again, I always say I don't remember exactly what the conversation is, but he made me feel like, look, you're about to go through puberty. You're going to want to fuck and take drugs and rock and roll and all that shit.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Oh, do you want me to pull those out?
Well, I'll get them out in a sec. I just scrape them out with my fingers.
Oh, I can do it with the tweezers.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, just
okay.
I like to scrape them out.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's part of it. It gives you a little bit of that the satisfaction.
Yeah, let's see.
I get it.
I don't know if I got it.
You got one.
There's one. Okay.
And then you got the other two on the right-hand side still.
Okay.
Good morning. Yep.
Did I get it?
Yeah, well, you got it out of the hole. It's just hanging on your back right now.
Okay.
Yep, you got that one.
I got that one. Well, they're both hanging on my back.
Oh, yeah. So
nice.
I wanted to...
Okay, got him.
Yeah. So I wanted to put on tape the idea when I got my thumb stung by a bee when I was a kid. I observed it up close because I'm a little fucking scientist. I'm like, who cares about the pain? And yeah, I was telling you, you see the bee just basically ripped its guts out and kind of flew away.
Wow.
And then the stinger was on my thumb, and it was like this massive, just white guts going into the black stinger, and just pump, pump, pump. And I could feel the rush of the fucking the toxin going into my finger, going shit, that fucking hurts.
Sometimes you can really feel it. Yeah.
The individual pumps, just unch, unch, unch,
yeah,
and I was just like, whoo.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I watched it, and then at a certain point when it just stopped pumping, it just kind of died, and it just that's probably what that 20-minute timer is about.
Yeah.
It's so it completely pumps all of it out of it.
So Satan was in your living room.
So Satan was in my and we made a deal, and it was kind of like that thing in The Simpsons where Bart.
What was the deal again?
It's basically I think the deal was specifically that I was allowed to lie.
Oh.
Because before that, I was a super OCD, the scrupulosity, sin. I was really super uptight, and then this gave me permission to just lie. And that was probably the basics of it, but also that was started smoking pot, fucking jerking off, all of those things that I was just being so holding myself.
What did you sell to him?
Probably my soul. But at this point,
so you could lie
or whatever, so I could have a good time, so I could live life.
Yeah.
I mean, the title of the book is Spiritual Bypass: How the Devil Saved My Soul.
Oh, wow.
Or how the devil saved my life, because I've lived this incredible life that being an uptight, OCD, scared, anxious little boy would have never been able to live.
Right.
It was because of sex and drugs and rock and roll and just really engaging with life.
Yeah. So Billy Joel says only the good die young.
You'd
rather.
I've had.
You'd rather hang with the sinners.
I've had more second chances than any person should be allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever.
Have you talked about your heart surgery?
Oh, I talk about it. I mean, I would say that's the motivation
for the
podcast, because I started walking as rehab.
Oh.
Then I did a silent meditation retreat, and I was able to get in about 2 hours every day of walking around the grounds, and that was the first step towards like real rehabilitation. Real like, okay, I'm able to walk 2 hours a day. From like the day after surgery, it was like walker one loop around the fucking little center console at the hospital. Like that's where I started from. Like being like having my guts ripped out and open, the biggest scar, just like in the most pain I've ever been in my life. Put me on a walker with a fucking tube coming out of my dick and fucking, yeah, they were just like, and like, this is also the thing, they had fucked up my gut so much, I wasn't even able to shit it. Like, I wouldn't be able to shit for like 3 days. Yeah. And it was all like fucking, you know, whatever, shit in my bed or fucking the nurses having to help me and fucking wipe my ass. It's like, it's real.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's big. And then, so,
definitely like having somebody else wipe your ass is like.
I mean, it's the level of humility that I've gained from going through that.
Yeah.
Is pretty amazing. But
oh, sorry.
No worries.
I'm gonna turn my phone on silent.
Whatever. Do you need to talk to her?
Nah.
Okay, good. I saw who it was. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. Didn't mean to spoil it. But yeah, so and then when I came back, it was like a week or two until like there was hints of the COVID before I went in. By the time I got out, it was like a little more, and then within a week or two, it was like fucking lockdown.
Full blown. Wow.
So I'd already started going up to like me and Barney because I had to take this little guy for a walk every day, right, bud? I would go up to Nancy Hoover Pole Overlook, which is off of Fryman, and we just do the fucking circuit. And eventually, like at the beginning of the shelter in place, so we got a secret tunnel here.
Ooh, wow.
Right?
I never knew about this.
Right? I discovered it like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I brought my friend Brittany here yesterday because it is now becoming one of my favorite features of both the river and... Yeah, so this takes us directly to the river.
Is this under the river?
Yeah, so this is under the 5.
Oh, okay.
Right? And this is traditionally a horse path so that the horse people could get in and out of the park from the river.
Oh.
Yeah. But look, like you go climb through that tunnel.
Wow, they keep it really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because it's the horse people.
Gotcha.
Ultimately, I think all the stuff for the horse people is kept pretty dialed in.
Yeah. Horse people, they got big money.
Yeah, and I think that they're the ones that use the park in a way that's like they've been here longer than anybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to film something even here in these weird little holes.
Yeah, it's
like it's got a
really
little
ominous.
like an escaping from prison
or
some kind of
The bars are awesome. Yeah.
But I've started to fall in love with the LA River myself. It's just it's not. Where'd you grow up?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, outside Pittsburgh.
So did you have a lot of nature where you were growing up?
Yes, a ton of nature, yeah.
So, the LA River is not going to be...
I don't know how it's even called or considered a river.
Well, you'll see here, this part is at least getting a little closer to the idea of a river.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like the more lush parts of it, but it still looks kind of nasty.
Oh, yeah, it's still gross. It's still pretty...
But yes, this is better than other parts that I've seen where it's just a skinny little...
Oh, yeah, with just a channel. Don't watch out here.
Oops.
We'll go down to the river and walk back up.
Okay, cool.
So it's like... so then I made the deal for the next... Like, the biggest thing about it is for the next period of time in my life, I was hiding the fact that I had sold my soul to the devil because I really thought I did it.
Right,
with a child's imagination, it's kind of like...
Yeah, if you believe something is true.
Yeah. And then, of course, started smoking pot and jacking off and, eventually, like, all the things that you get out of being
all the things the devil likes.
The devil will give you.
Yeah.
But how did the devil manifest itself in your life?
So, I I mean, I think I've had like mild OCD since I was a kid. Maybe it was a response to Catholicism and
Sure.
distress, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you don't have to get into any details, but what do you think the source of, like, I mean, there are kids who are just naturally anxious. That's
right.
just...
No, I think this is like my parents arguing all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, environmental.
So, yeah. So, yes, it would be stressful if the gods, like these giant godlike creatures in your life are like, all the time.
Yeah.
That'd be super fucking stressful.
Yeah.
I think I had that too.
Yeah.
I saw my mom stab my dad with a pen
Oh
over the divorce check. Like he's writing the check, and she's like, picked up the pen and stabbed him in like the shirt.
Whoa.
And I watched this whole thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, no. So
that leaves a mark.
Like literally, like it was. So I always say it's very American because his shirt was white, the pen was blue, and his blood was red.
Wow. I mean, that's a really great image.
Yeah, right. It's in the book, but yeah, that's why it's stuck in my head.
Wow, you
right?
need to paint that.
And
That'd be an amazing painting.
My mom has crazy, like, real vicious looking teeth, and she's just like, and I could see her teeth just like, she has almost like predatory teeth, and she's just like, whew, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
I should just put that in a movie.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. I don't know, like the colors are so vibrant and.
You know who I would think would be a great guy to play my dad in the movie?
Who?
Kevin Krieger.
Oh my God!
They got a very similar look. Yeah, he's great. They got a very similar look, like the kind of a little bit bald in the mustache and skinny. You know, like that. My dad was very he had like a '70s skinny guy vibe. But I mean, I think Kevin's could pull off the performance of being like this meek, angry man.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty amazing. How's it going?
Hi. That's Kevin's MO.
I gotta tell you, this is the job, right?
Oh, this is crazy. I've never walked down here.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of one of the reasons why I like taking people here. Right, bud? This fucking guy is a river dog.
Is he?
Yeah, he gets in the water and chases the birds, and yeah, that guy had fucking awesome hair.
Dude, I know. He's just chilling down here. I think he's taking a little break.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it'd be a great job. He had like green dreadlocks. He seemed like a real fucking stoner fucking type.
Yeah.
But as like maybe he's like Mexican or native or something like that. Comes out here, gets to work in the fucking river. Do not.
Oh, is that what he's cleaning up?
Oh my God.
Here? Oh,
it's a duck.
Oh,
it's a duck.
Oh.
I just want to make sure Barney doesn't roll around in
God.
it. Keep going. Keep going.
That's disgusting. Oh, it's so visceral seeing like a dead animal like that. Oh my gosh.
Well, you're very sensitive. I like that a lot. That is amazing. I have kind of gotten used to it from walking down in the river so much. I also had
Are there a lot of dead animals down here?
No, not a lot, but you just see them. I saw a possum a couple days ago.
Oh, wow.
I saw what was that? I mean, you see dead squirrels all the time. Lots of dead birds. I was going to say, dead animals. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, I had a Twitter account because I was riding my bike a lot, and I called it the LA Roadkill Report. And at first, I was like, I'd go and take pictures of dead animals on the side of the road. Then it started bumming me out too much, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But part of it was from like a commentary of like how vicious the roads can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but now my new one is I take a picture of like a piece of trash, let's say Fiji water, then I'll tag Fiji in the Instagram, and I'll hashtag it brand ambassador. Just to be like,
that's good.
Give like an accountability. Like they'll create all this garbage, but they aren't out here fucking cleaning it up.
They have all the means to make plastic out of corn or whatever. I'm like,
cellulose.
Why aren't you doing that with everything?
Yeah.
You know, at this point, it's like, we're going to be doomed if you guys don't quit it. You know, I don't know why there aren't more regulations around it.
Well, I think it's partially because if you look at how, and again, like it's specifically America, but it's a little bit everywhere else.
Yeah.
But how much power we've given to people with money.
Yeah.
And the real truth of the matter is, we could decide at any time that all that money is valueless.
Yeah.
You know, it's all kind of like, it's all this ascribed and you know, kind of consensus value that we give it.
Yeah, it would take a big consensus to get people to
shift.
Yeah,
but you know, fucking people love all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Star Trek, that seems to be like, that world seems to be like a post-scarcity world. You know, like they're not dealing with like
hunger.
Yeah, or like war, unless it's like war between giant cultures. You know, but it's always right. The skirmishes are right on the edges of where the people meet.
Oh.
You know, but yeah, they got food replicators, and nobody ever has to buy shit. You know, yeah. So I think it's like nerd heaven.
That's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
So the devil comes into your life. No, I love it though. This is what this is.
So,
right? We're wandering down a path. We're wandering in our conversation.
Yeah. So he came to fruition in a few ways.
Yeah.
One was that there was this statue of Zeus on my neighbor's house. And
fuck yeah, really?
Yeah.
In fucking rural Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we had a lot
That's pretty amazing.
I mean, my parents they have a statue of Pandora after her box.
Wait, what was the name of the city you grew up in?
Peters Township.
Oh, interesting. So
it didn't have a suburb.
It didn't have any Greek. There wasn't any kind of Greek like because there's like in Tennessee there's like Memphis is an Egyptian city, so they tend to have a lot of things that are Egyptian themed.
Oh.
Right? So when you tell me that there's Pandora and Zeus in your neighborhood, I'm like, why are these?
I think just like some quirky ass people.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay, good. It didn't have anything to do with the hood. Okay.
No, the hood is like more of a suburban bubble, pretty vanilla, and but yeah, there's no culture throughout the hood other than people like having nice families and jobs and houses.
Okay.
On the outside.
Yeah. But of course, no, suburbia is all these fucking pretty picture windows. Look at our living room, but then behind the scenes, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly it, based on my experience. But yeah, so there was this statue of Zeus, and my best friend growing up, she told me it was Satan.
Fuck yes! I mean, in a weird way, though, if you think of how like Christianity use like things like the Saturnalia and stuff like that. They were basically trying to cast all the ancient gods as the devil. You know.
Yeah.
She was just doing the job of the church.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we would pass it every day on our bus route, that house, and I had told myself, if I don't blink 6 times when we pass, the devil will possess me. The devil will enter me. And so every day on the bus route, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close my eyes, and just so the devil wouldn't enter my soul, because I was so scared of being possessed. And then one day, I kind of broke my own pattern. And I don't know what they call those in terms of OCD.
Well, you're breaking the you're breaking the obsessive compulsion to do the thing. There is a word for it.
I'm not sure what it is, but I broke it because I was like, I don't fucking care anymore. I was like, fine. I was like, I don't feel like blinking every day when I go past this. I was just annoyed with it. And so I had come to terms with it, and I was like, fine, if he's going to possess me, he's going to possess me. And I didn't blink.
Real quick, and here you are in Hollywood.
And here I am. And it happened. So I didn't do it, and I noticed that, nothing changed. And I was like, okay, but that still didn't get rid of my, fear of the devil.
Sure. But at least you were testing the ground. You were like poking your foot into what is and what isn't magical.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, just out of curiosity, because I don't know, like I'm sure I had some of those things going on, but I'm so, like, I've scrambled my brain so much on drugs over my life, I can't really remember. What do you think? Because I remember, like, step on a crack, break your mother's back, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you'd have to walk in a way to avoid because the typical fucking, suburban block is just these, like regular breaks in the fucking concrete.
Yeah, I was super wary of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And super superstitious, yeah.
Yeah, oh, so superstitious.
Yeah, and I would make sure, not to step on cracks. And, I'm sure a lot of kids, if they stepped on cracks, were worried about their mom's backs.
I wonder if there's any kid, and this would probably be like a weird one-person show, is like, and then the day I stepped on the crack, I came home, and my mother's back was broken.
I feel like that's a good start to, like, an indie movie.
Yes, exactly. And how they have to unwrap their OCD from that moment.
Some,
yes.
Like, quirky Wes Anderson movie where this kid, he stepped on a crack, and his mom did break his back, and his dad then had a heart attack, and he's just like, what?
Well, I did that!
It's the lore.
Yeah.
The lore behind the saying. But yeah, so my one friend, she told me about the middle finger, and she said that it means go to hell, and I made it up. I made it up in my head that if I stuck up my middle finger, even on accident, I would have to stick up my pointer finger for
to counter
60 seconds.
Like as a counter curse?
Yes, as a counter curse, or I would go to hell.
Nice, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I told all the kids in my class that, like, if they didn't do it,
that they were
not
gonna
all
go.
the kids.
Yeah, but still your group of...
My group of friends, that if they didn't do it, they would go to hell. And my mom got some phone calls, and she was like, did you tell Alexa Walnoa that
that's
go to hell?
Amazing. That's a good one. I love that one.
And then probably my most memorable one was Santa Claus. I thought Santa Claus would turn into Satan if I caught him downstairs.
Satan calls.
I know, right? I mean,
Satan's call.
Is the spelling really a coincidence? I don't know if I buy that.
I don't think. But again, like, it's like in child logic, it's like this thing where it's like we've allowed this particular magical being to come into our house, but because he's a saint, it's okay. Like, it's really fucked. I am of the frame of mind, like, I'm not that I'm ever gonna have any kids, I'm too old for that, but if I have kids, no fucking Santa Claus. Fuck that shit. No
Sean,
fucking Santa Claus.
On.
Here's why.
Come on, dude.
I want the kid to know I'm giving them the gift. I want them to know that their parents are the ones that are, like, out there fucking making it for them. You know, like that. Like,
yeah, but don't you think the imaginative part is a little bit fun? You can still give them gifts.
I think, though, the problem with that level of magical thinking is that it permeates our culture in such a huge way that we have this fucking blind consumerism for a month and a half, and I would say we have this fucking leadership that is very much about magical thinking, and we're in a lot of trouble because he doesn't have good, solid reasoning and logic.
Yeah, but don't let that guy ruin all sorts of magical thinking.
But I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, like, I think children need to have a better understanding of magical thinking, like, earlier on. Like, I'm now in a place where I can, like, let my imagination go and have a good time and not fucking get myself anxious and crazy and fucking doing, like I don't do drugs anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my magical thinking, my OCD led me to fucking being a drug addict. You know? Because I was trying to counter the magical thinking and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's all. Again, like, I have a very particular distaste for Santa Claus myself, partially because of the, like, how it can be used, or how it was used against me as a way to get me to conform.
Right,
you know?
I understand that.
I feel like,
and it's like, just be honest with your kids. Like,
yeah. And I think if you're, it's
basically, you don't have to be good because someone's watching you. You have to be good.
A ghost in the fucking sky.
It's important to be a good person.
Yes.
You know.
And I would also say, like, from the standpoint of, like let's say gaslighting.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is basically like saying to kids, well, the culture's going to gaslight you, kids,
Well,
so good luck.
John, you're talking to somebody who believes in Santa Claus through age 12.
Sure. And when people snuck it out to you or tried to, you'd be like, no.
Yeah. Well, like, I also convinced myself that I saw him fly by my window.
Sure.
And at age 13, when I finally told my mom, I know Santa Claus isn't real, she was like,
yeah. Okay.
What are you talking about? It's like, of course he's real.
She still tried to insist.
Yes, and then she went
13?
to my she went to my
You'd
dad.
already had your period.
Yes. She was like, went to my dad. She's like, Dale, Natalie doesn't think Santa Claus is real.
Oh, fucking.
And he's like, why would she think that?
Fucking in cahoots.
Yeah.
They're in cahoots to gaslight you. Look at this. This dog is having such a good time
with me. Yeah, but yeah, I remember that one night. I heard.
Oh, so they were being a little tongue in cheek at that point.
I think so.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
good. I feel like that's not so bad.
They're fucking with me, but they didn't let up. I'll say that. Like,
but also, like for me, like in a very real sense, like the gaslighting aspect is huge.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm trying to help myself and other people to be aware of when it's happening, so that they have an opportunity to not fall prey to it.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like it could be a prophylaxis against manipulation or whatever.
Oh.
That's a fish. That one's a fish.
What? There's fish down here?
Yeah, they stock parts of the lake, but also like when they stock it, then they make their own babies.
Holy shit, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah, you see people fishing in here all the time. Like there's an egret. Or
who
that's
the
a baby
hell
crane.
would want to eat fish out of here?
There's a falcon. He's behind the trees. There he is. Oh.
What?
A falcon, yeah.
So people
fish out of here.
They fish like for food?
Yeah, I think so. I think there are, you see various places around here where they fish for food.
Oh gosh, it's so nasty.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But you know, I think ultimately the fish and the birds and the plants act as filters. Be careful, buddy. Be careful. He loves the river. But I know if he goes over there, obviously.
Can he swim?
He can.
Yeah.
I took him to the pool yesterday, and as I'm bringing him down, he's doing the in the air. It's so cute, just like the doggy paddle. Yeah, but he'll go. What'll happen is he'll go. See, there's a little channel in the middle there. He'll chase after a brother and slip into the channel, but then he'll be able to dig himself up. What I'm afraid of is at some point I have to fucking run over there and fucking pull him out. But I'll just take my phone out of my pocket and take the recorder off and just jump in. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let him drown for sure. But it's also like, he's like a kid. I want him to learn his limitations. You know, and he does get freaked out when it happens, and he learns to avoid that situation afterwards. Just like kids.
That's right. You gotta let them learn. You gotta let them make mistakes.
Yeah. But here's interesting. You have, I know you, but also even these things that you're saying right now, you have an extremely powerful imagination.
Yes. Yeah.
I always look at a certain kind of intelligence.
Oh my God, that is scary as fuck.
Yeah, but that fucking dog would after it.
When you see what is that, a stork?
It's a crane.
When you see a crane in the city, it is really dystopian and eerie.
And that
but
sound
if you saw, it's really eerie being on the LA River with all this bird shit everywhere and graffiti and sad amount of water, just barely scraping by. But if you saw a crane
out
in nature, and he made that same noise, it would be so beautiful. Yeah.
I will say though, as a person who does I hike a lot and I hike on the river a lot. There's not very many. There are some beautiful green, lush, interesting fucking hikes all over LA. But it's just Griffith Park is just right here, and I fucking love the river. For me, it's I do like the apocalyptic aspect of it. I do like also seeing this crop up in the middle of this fucking desolate thing and this fucking life in the crane. I love seeing nature fucking hammering at, civilization and trying to take it down.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love.
That's an optimistic way to see it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
Hopeful.
if
It's still penetrating this
oh yeah, my
like
very
concrete wasteland.
my very favorite kind of very favorite hike is there's a shipwreck in Palo Verde Peninsula.
Oh, there's a shipwreck?
Yeah, so what it is,
Wow.
it was a Greek grain boat. It was shipping some grain out here, and it ran aground. And it's just a metal boat, but it's scraped up against there's a little kind of outcropping of rocks, and it got stuck in 1960. And then over the last 60 years, it's slowly ground up to the shore. And if you ever want to go on a hike there, let me know.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
And it's just this big rusty piece of metal that's on the beach. And one of the things I look at, it was called the Dominator. And it's
The boat?
The name of the boat was the Dominator.
Wow.
And now it has completely been dominated by nature.
Damn.
Right? It's like beautiful. It's like
Damn,
it's like a certain poetry to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have pieces, like rusting pieces of the ship at my house, because it's like
Oh,
it
really?
shows that, like, so I have it's like some kind of pipe that was covered in, like, it's rubberized on the outside,
Okay.
and then on the inside it's all barnacles. All have been living inside of it.
Wow.
So it's this piece of rubberized pipe that you look on the inside, it's all covered in barnacles. It's beautiful. I like those. I like the pieces of the.
And the barnacles are white, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I know
that's
they're all
cool.
like wormy and crawling all
Wow.
over each other. But one of the things that I kind of look at with all these pieces is I try to find a piece that has a. Do you need a hand?
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to put this. You can hold the bees. Thanks. I put this over because I feel like I'm getting a little sunburn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been kind of like vaguely working on a bit about how the blanket is the best invention ever.
Oh,
that
yeah.
like a handkerchief is just a
Versatile.
tiny blanket.
Yeah.
A shirt is just a blanket with the holes in the right place. A hat is just a blanket. You know what I mean? Like the blanket is like
and everything. It's like that's just a blanket with arms, like a row. Yeah.
That's once we learned how to weave, how to loom things together.
Everything else is taken care of.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, if I think a lot about the early parts of civilization, and I think a lot of that shit was invented by women. Thank
you, Sean.
Yeah, no. So here's my base idea.
I agree with you.
So there's this idea that in like hunter and gathering societies, all of the hunting groups would be men, because they realize that they can't send the women out. So if you don't get your shoes mucked up, do you want to go up and around?
I can go this way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They would send only men out hunting, because if you sent a woman out hunting, then you would lose the possibility of her being able to make a baby, right? So that's going to have more of an impact on the population than a man. So they could afford to lose a lot of men in hunting parties. Mm-hmm. So I think what ends up happening is the women chill back at home, and they're like, they're gathering berries and honey or whatever locally, and then they're also like, weaving and making tools and inventing cooking. Like, they're doing all the little basic things that all the extras where the men are out trapping and hunting and keeping their minds in that fucking OCD hunter kind of mindset. Where women are like, we're bored, let's weave something. Or I also think that as a person, my mom is super duper smart. I also think that the value of having a woman in the group who had these kind of more like high level capabilities was going to be very valuable, you know? And I think that we don't give enough credence to that in our cultural anthropology. That was like, I don't know, like, if you've heard this theory of the Venus of Willendorf, that, like, it's that statue of that one of the first statues is this kind of fat woman with big breasts.
Yes.
So the theory is from one of these anthropologists, and I think it was a woman anthropologist, she said, I noticed when I was pregnant that's kind of how my body looked. So my theory is that this was a woman carving her own body from the perspective of herself.
Wow.
Yeah, and so then the idea of maybe sculpture or this kind of art was born from a pregnant lady just got nothing better to do. Just
Yeah.
fucking carve up a fucking statue. You know? Oh, that's my theory. Back to
Yeah, I
back
like
to Satan, Santa,
I just wanted to go
Zeus.
into the details of the one night I had. My parents were putting toys downstairs, and I heard them blowing something up, which turned out to be like this blow-up Tyrannosaurus Rex, which was really cool.
Was a toy for you?
My brother.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but
be careful.
A toy for me. But
don't you hate the way toys are gendered?
I know, dude. It's like I like big blow-up dinosaur shit. Anyways, I got a bunch of great stuff. But I was just sitting up at the top of the stairs, going back and forth, you know, like tormented, wanting to meet Santa Claus, but just like being like, well, if you go down there, he's gonna turn into Satan, and you won't really get to meet him anyway.
Shit.
So like, you know, I kept going back and forth with myself, saying like, just go meet him. It's Santa Claus. Like, how often do you wake up right when he's downstairs at your house? And then the other side of me was like, yeah, but it will be all for nothing because he'll just turn into Satan.
And then he'll eat me or whatever. Yeah.
I reasoned, well, probably like I was afraid of getting possessed, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
And then I reasoned to just not go down because, it made more sense to not have him turn into Satan. But I really thought that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I will say, like, in writing this thing, my memoir, how palpable the devil was. There is a movie called The Devil and Max Devlin. Guess who the fucking it wasn't the devil, but it was like the devil's agent was played by? Bill Cosby, who is really become the devil.
Whoa,
and this poster was everywhere, where it's Bill Cosby handing Elliot Gould a fucking contract, and he's got horns and a red suit.
Jesus.
And it's just like, and then this movie, the only place you can find the movie on the internet is from Disney Home Video. And the basic,
really?
Yes, it's a Disney fucking movie.
Whoa.
Disney, but again, like I'm doing this whole analysis about how Disney has basically put a lot of like devil and occult imagery into our lives, and I think the fucking
into our subconscious.
So the it's the Sorcerer's Apprentice was the mascot for Disney Home Video, right?
Yeah.
So in essence, he is a black magician. Right? Fucking Mickey is playing a black magician, enticing you to watch these magical images.
Yeah.
And again, like I take it all with a grain of salt now because I'm basically an atheist. But these are powerful images to put into children's minds.
Yeah.
Very powerful. They're like Disney's like so I'm hoping I'll get this book going, and then I'll write all this fucking amazing fucking dark shit. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about your thing. Amazing dark shit about Disney. And then they'll just be like, hey, if you take that chapter out, we'll give you a lot of money. I'll be like, sure.
There you go. Yeah, why not?
But are you still doing that podcast?
We took a break for a minute, but we might get back into doing it. We just like had other stuff kind of going
and of course with the shelter in place and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fascinating podcast. I really enjoyed it. And a lot of it was like stuff that I kind of knew, like as you grow up, it's like, well, you know, it's great that there's a fucking, now basically a show that kind of covers all of that stuff in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's almost like the ultimate conspiracy theory, right? You know, because it's like, it is Disney. It's Disney.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean?
100%, dude. Like, there's no question that there's some conspiratory shit happening.
Oh, they're a very, very, very
Disney
powerful
studios,
yeah,
etc.
Yeah. Oh, they're a very powerful media company. Yeah,
they own everything, and I'm like, I thought in this country it was illegal to monopolize something, and it should be illegal for.
Oh, and the copyright shit they do, all of it, like the fucking stranglehold they have on copyrights because they don't want people to draw two little circles in a big circle together.
Yeah,
you know, it's like this is.
What's the word? Oligopoly? Is that a thing? What is it for like?
Yes, for money.
Just like a few.
Yeah.
Like high powers. It's like that's what's happening.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like even though monopolies are illegal, there shouldn't be like, even like having 3 of them, that should still be illegal,
Yeah.
and that's what it is.
I will even say this, like, as much as I hate all these fucking, cell phone services, we only had one option when I was growing up. Bell Telephone. That was the only company that you could get telephone for service from. As soon as they broke up, what they used to call it Ma Bell, because it was the biggest fucking company. As soon as they broke it up, innovations all over the place. We wouldn't have had cell phones. No person would have an individual phone in their pocket if Ma Bell had their way.
Right.
Yeah, because it took breaking apart the monopolies for innovation. And again, I think that's
because
where
it creates competition. People feel like
not
they need
even
to compete.
not even competition. It makes it so that the company that is resistant to doing any change, like this, our business is working. We're all rich.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
why
scale.
do anything else?
I think scale kills innovation. Just because it's like they're like, oh, well, we know how to make money this way. We don't want to do it any other way.
Well, if you don't need to compete with anybody else, why do you need to invent anything?
Anything new?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we need to go up here.
Okay.
Because it's getting to the part of the river.
Well,
so
this is a nice part of the river.
Yeah.
I like this. It seems like a healthy flow it's got going.
Oh yeah, this is so. Yeah, this. So what it turns out is like as you get farther down there, it gets a little bit trashier. Right.
Yes.
As you get over to the studios, it gets turns into a channel. But this part between, conceivably, we could, if you had more proper shoes, we could literally walk this section of river all the way to the other side.
You should have told me. I would have worn my hiking
I didn't even know.
boots.
Some of the sometimes.
Next time.
Yeah, I don't even know which part of the hike I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I was just like, as soon as you got there, I was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I was like, oh shit, let's go to my little secret tunnel.
Nice.
Because this guy obviously loves it.
He's so cute.
Right, buddy?
Buddy.
Yeah! You're a happy dog. And I think he especially likes it when I bring somebody along.
Yeah.
He gets to be part of a pack.
Yeah, he loves being part of a pack.
Wet dog. Fucking loves the LA River.
So cute. How old is Barney now?
Yeah, no, but I see that, if magic or whatever, if these things are actually, if they have any power,
Thank you.
let's say,
Yeah. Do you not believe in any kind of magic or energy at all?
So, I believe in evidence.
Okay.
Yeah. This is kind of a drag with this sound, but whatever. This is part of the hike.
And what do you consider to be evidence?
So, when you said you saw Santa Claus fly, right?
Yeah, I saw him fly past my window.
Now,
Is that evidence?
let's parse it out, right?
Yeah.
So, I believe at the time you believed that you saw Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean that's how I defended Santa Claus to my 6th grade classmates by saying,
for a much longer period.
by saying I saw him fly past my window. I know he's real because I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as a person with a lot of magical thinking and OCD, what do you think really, what do you think? Do you think it was part imagination, part you saw something and filled in the blanks? Do you think, because now I would say so what I do believe in is there are, I've been listening to this podcast called Hidden Jinn.
Oh, okay.
And it's about genies, right? About jinn.
It's about genies?
Yes. You should listen to it. And it's this woman's Arabic or Persian or something she grew up in a culture that jinns were part of the...
Oh, I didn't know jinn was a word for genies.
Yeah, so that's the jinn is what they are officially called. Genie is how we Americanized it.
Oh,
I see a genie with the light brown hair. I dream of Genie.
Right,
Fucking Genie from fucking Aladdin. But they're jinn. It's the way she talks about them is that they are these energy creatures, right? That they are these that they're made of energy and have these energetic ways in which they can interact with humans and humanity.
Yeah.
Now, we can look at some of that stuff and go oh, maybe these are physics principles, like gravity. Maybe people considered gravity a form of jinn before,
Oh,
you know, right?
right.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
what
yeah.
I would say is we're in a space right now where we don't have a necessarily clear understanding of the universe we're living in, and yet there are still forces around us that impact us all the time.
Sure, yeah.
And being a skeptic or whatever, a person that's looking for evidence, if, let's say magic, like let's say, well, talk about chaos magic and stuff like that. I just listened to a podcast about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I should send that to you. I think you'll get a.
Wow, how did you see him coming?
Oh, I have like a six. I think I saw this.
Oh, wow, you have a
When I
really
turned
good
that-
sixth sense.
Well,
yeah.
I'm watching out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so it's Grant Morrison, who is a comic book writer. He did like The Invisibles. He was involved in the TV show Happy. Was based on one of his comic books, and he got to write on it. And he's one of the writers on the new Brave New World.
Yeah.
But he considers himself a magician, and he studies the Kabbalah. And so what he says is like magic or magical states, the way he describes it, are ways of accessing your imagination, infusing your work with higher meaning than you would normally. Like if you are channeling, let's say, Zeus for your project, you can always lean on the ideas of lightning and da-da-da. Like you do these things that bring out these thematic kind of like echoes in the project. And I would say when projects have those energies in them, when they have these themes, or they're like I can't even say theater is a way of calling to the gods.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
sure.
we exist. I mean, like, the thing that's
Why
amazing.
they created theater to
In the
speak
first
to
place,
God.
it was the first art, religion, science confluence all together.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that one of our favorite theaters is the lyric Hyperion. Hyperion is a fucking Greek god.
Really?
Who's one of the sons of the Muses.
No
and the lyric
way.
is a fucking epic poem.
Oh, wow.
When
I
I
had
look
no
at the
idea.
table, I want to. Like, there's a part of me that's like, once every 3 months or something, all the main performers at that theater should come together and do a ritualized lyric to the god Hyperion on the stage. Whatever silliness that means, to infuse the stage with the magic of the gods again. Because I'd say, like, the stage is where miracles happen, is where magic and the fucking potential for us to reach and touch the finger of the gods. You know, I think that's when we're on stage, that's where it's happening. Or in the arts, or in a movie or TV show, or whatever. Don't go up there. Come back down here, bud.
Barney.
So that's where I kind of look at magic, is like, mostly magic takes place right here. In between our, in our temple, in between our temples, in our temple. So it's like
is a temple. Yeah.
but it's how we perceive. It's literally how we perceive the world. We could perceive the world in a magical way, in a clinical way, in a logical way, in a rational way, or in a miraculous way. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that it's our perception is mostly where the magic happens.
Sure, okay.
So, and being able to be in that space of like reading a tarot and looking at the tarot spread, and it reminds you of certain things, and your thinking changes around that, and you go throughout your day, and if I tell you it's very special, the number 22, right?
You're going to notice the number 22.
You're going to notice the number 22, but it gives your life this heightened sense of unreality, and I'm outside of, I know some special knowledge, like, so that's kind of where I go with the magic, is like, partially for me, I had to get rid of almost all of my magical thinking to get sane and sober.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like crazy OCD, super depressed, a really crazy drug addict. What kind of
drugs did you get into?
I was a crackhead at the very end.
Wow,
I was a tweaker.
Sean.
I was a tweaker most of my fucking life.
Oh my
I fucking
gosh.
love speed, baby.
Wow.
But I fucking started drinking and smoking pot when I was 11.
Yeah, wow.
I was a fucking regular pot smoker, a daily pot smoker by the time I was 14. And I was a fucking shitty ass drunk almost all through my using time.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, I was,
That takes a toll on you.
it does. But
Yeah.
so...
But you fully recovered.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I still eat mushrooms and microdose, and I'll smoke some DMT when it's around. And I've had a
Nice.
beer or two, but it's
What
it's
is DMT?
dimethyltryptamine.
Is that connected to mushrooms or?
Well, no, it's more connected to ayahuasca.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. But if you ever want to try some, let me know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no.
Should you do ayahuasca before you do that?
It's tough because it's hard. Ayahuasca. So I got sober from crack by using ayahuasca.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went and
Just purged you of everything.
yeah. So what it does, I think there's several levels of how it works. So I got a dose. I was working for this documentarian who was eventually going to do a documentary about psychedelics. That all fell apart.
Yeah.
But he, instead of editing his, I had a day of, hey, come here, bud. Bernie, come here. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Now let's sit for a second. We're just going to stay right here while this guy passes. Yep, good boy.
Wow,
Good, Barney.
he listens so well.
Well, I think if both of us do it, it's like, this is what the pack is doing.
I
you know.
see.
So yeah, he gave me a bottle of ayahuasca. I split it with my buddy Jesse. I went to Hollywood and Highland. And I think one of the things it does, like a good, you've eaten mushrooms.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a good
I love
psychedelic
mushrooms,
journey
yeah.
is it's like your body may be going, your brain is like, and then it's like a bell, dong. It's like,
Yeah.
and this tone just goes out from the drug just hitting you at such a fucking primal level that it just
Yeah.
kind of like, it's like it sweeps out
Permeates
all
your-
the bad thoughts,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's part of it. I also think that the emotional I'll go with the emotional part. So I think there's an actual mechanical thing it does, which is it mechanically resets your synapses in a way so that you're not having repeated thought patterns. So I think
yes.
that's the physical process. The emotional process is it gives you an opportunity to look at some of the hard or broken or traumatic things in your life in a way, it's like it presents them to you. It's like emotionally your brain goes, oh, and what about this thing? Your mother treating you in this way.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, that whole, I've been holding that around, blah, blah, blah. And like, so then you get a way to kind of like, almost like face it and rationalize it in this protected space of the psychedelic journey.
Yeah.
Then I think the spiritual aspect of it is it makes you feel like you're going to fucking die, and that if you are not going to live your life to the fullest, what the fuck are you doing wasting it? You know, I think that's the spiritual aspect. I do a lot of psychedelics. I also help people on psychedelic journeys too. So I see these aspects of it. And I also think, like, let's say, if I know that I would say, like, I know that there are a lot of miracle healings that kind of happen as a result of big psychedelic journeys.
Yeah.
Sometimes that has to do with if the person is thinking about their illness in the wrong way.
Yeah, you
that
can't
is
think
causing
you're not going to heal. You have to be...
You have to be in the healing mindset. I also
Yeah.
think that some people may be just sometimes thinking themselves sick. Now, that's not always it. But also, it might give them an insight about how to care for themselves in a way that's going to make the thing stop. Like I feel like we have so many behaviors that we hurt ourselves. Like, it's like, oh, I'm sick. I'm going to not change. Like, I hear this all the time. People going to the emergency room because they eat a thing that they know that is bad for them, right? People that are diabetic that eat sugar, people that have food allergies, they do it. They do it on purpose.
To what?
Because they're hungry or they have no self-control, and they know that it's going to possibly hurt them, and they end up in the emergency room. So there is
Do you think it's self-harm, or?
I think it's a little bit of self-harm. I think people have, like, it's self-control issues, self-harm. I think it's like people have low self-esteem. We have a culture that is like definitely leverages your personal pleasure, and your identity is kind of like part of this.
At the crux of everything.
Yeah.
Whereas like some cultures don't even think about it.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like, just eat a thing that's going to give you nourishment you know,
Yeah.
rather than this thing. And we have such a toxic culture that it's like almost like it's so hard to find any food without high fructose corn syrup in it.
I know.
Every
Especially
fucking, that's like human feed for Americans.
It's illegal
Here's your fucking
in
corn.
some countries.
It should be.
Yeah.
It's like a secret toxin that they put in everything.
Yeah. No wonder everybody's like all
Wheat,
like obese. You know.
wheat, high fructose corn syrup, and I think on some levels, like the highly factory processed meats, like those three things are at the heart of the American diet, and I think that they are fucking the worst things for us. Now again, like I like meat, I eat meat, but we shouldn't be eating fucking McDonald's burgers.
No, I mean that's not even meat.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not.
It's so processed. It's got so many things.
The way they're treating those cows, like for McDonald's, that the meat like might as well just be shit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So
it's like you are what you ate. You know, what are they feeding those cows? They're so packed in together. They're like, they're probably like eating each other's shit just by like.
Oh, just the desperate lives they're living.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you know, they talk the difference in the food quality between. Look at that guy. He's just like can't wait to get in the river. I think he'll be all right. I will just walk up here and he'll keep following us.
Cool.
We're gonna go this way, bud. Yeah, he loves it. Yes, good boy. Well, when there's a little more clearance on the edge, we'll go down.
Nice.
But yeah, this is his favorite part of the river because look at how shallow it is.
Yeah. Aw, it's cute.
Good boy. Yeah, I'm right here.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, so psychedelics, DMT. Oh, so yeah, I got sober from ayahuasca, from crack. Well, but we were talking about Zeus and your experience of Santa Claus. So, in retrospect, what do you think? Do you think it was really anything? Was it your imagination? Was it did you see something and just say?
Looking back on it, the memory of it that I have, because it's kind of singed into my brain.
Yeah.
I think I visualized something, like I created it because I wanted so badly to see it.
And to believe.
Yeah, and to believe.
Yeah.
And I convinced myself that I heard bells. I don't think I actually heard bells, or maybe I did. Maybe somebody was opening the door downstairs and
you could hear a little
it was
something.
a wreath with bells on it, you know. Like, I don't think I'm totally crazy, and it didn't happen many times. It was just that one time.
Yeah.
But also that was the only time I needed. And I was also sitting at the window, like, being like, come on, I know I'm gonna see him. And then
wow,
I remember,
it's like you wished him into existence.
Yeah, I manifested him, but I remember like swiftly moving my head across the window and very much manufacturing it, like being like, whoa.
That's amazing. I gotta say though, I mean that's again
what a weird
but
kid.
this is like this is the realm a little bit of like cult leaders, right?
Yeah.
Right, like this is the thing that they would try to
convince people.
Yeah, you edge you towards it, and starvation, and then like and there's you know, like, and there's the God or whatever, you know, like. But I think again, like I think all of that's I would say one of the reasons why I'm a little like dismissive of magic is because our fucking imagination is so much more powerful than any of this stuff. And I
consider that as a part of it.
Sure, and magic and imagination. No, and I think it's all part of it. But when I hear people talk about Jesus or God and all, like, again, this is also why I'm like, fuck Santa, because it's like, no, why can't we as a family make our own magical elf for the holidays?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like this is our family has the opportunity to be like, here he goes, he's going to chase those egrets.
Aww. Yeah, what I was going to say about Santa Claus earlier and like American Santa Claus is like, I think there are, you know, Santa Claus is something that has permeated the world, and you can find them in many
absolutely.
cultures, and I think there are some like healthy representations.
Oh, sure,
of
for
Santa
sure.
Claus. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm again, like, I think that
Santa Claus kind of represents cultures as a whole. Though, if you think about it, like he's.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's almost like
the value
he's like
system
exactly. He's like a boiled down essence of what that. Yeah, and it happens
what
to be
people really
American
value.
Santa is a fucking consumerist, fucking greedy god. You know, like.
But he gives.
Oh, sure, but I mean, just think of the families that spend so much of their money to try to chase after that. Like, that's the thing that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Is that, like, and part of, like, you know, I'm a little bit anti-consumerist myself.
Sure.
And part of that has to do with I would much rather give people experiences than gifts.
Oh, I value experiences over,
I got too much crap in my life. Don't give me any more crap. Take me out to dinner. You know what I mean? Because then you're giving me a beautiful poop later on.
100%. There you go. Nothing's better than a nice poop, nice huge dump. What a relief.
But it's so, and I think for me, like, I'll just say, like, all of the heartbreak that I had from, like, being disappointed over and over again by, like, expectations of gifts versus what I got.
Sure, yeah.
You know, so it's rather than have that.
It's so much pressure on families too, especially like when kids compare their loots, you know, to others, and it can get in kids' heads like, oh, why did Susie get more than me? And does that mean she's better, behaves better than me, and Santa Claus likes her more? You know, it
just happens to be her parents are either richer and or spoil her more.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But the kid, if they're thinking in terms of Santa Claus, probably would think it reflects on their behavior, them.
And I think, like, when I look at, like, let's say the metaphor of American Santa, I will go with that, just to agree. The metaphor of American Santa is a little bit of that, you're not good enough, you know, which I think is a huge part of the American culture, is making us feel like shit about ourselves all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And that, somebody...
don't celebrate each other enough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the themes I keep on coming back to in this silly podcast that nobody even really listens to, which I don't really necessarily.
I like this podcast. It's the most easy I've felt on a podcast.
Yeah,
because
you're not
it
on the
doesn't
spot.
feel like a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like what at the very, very,
We're
very
on a
base.
nice little hike.
Exactly. We get to go out and enjoy quote unquote nature, even though it is the LA River.
Dystopian nature.
I would love to figure out how to make this a fucking podcasting empire. Just get people to fucking strap on a mic and go for a hike.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I think you could get some product behind it.
People follow suit, I'm sure.
Look at that. Look at that guy.
Oh my gosh, he looks like he's walking on water.
Right? Isn't that beautiful?
This actually would be a great place to shoot like a walking on water kind of like Jesus bit. Yeah.
But then I think, like, just talking about all these various gods, you could have Jesus walking in water, then, like, Zeus comes out. And then all the gods are like, yeah, I can walk on water, too. Yeah. And Santa Claus finally shows up.
It really does look amazing. Like, it looks like he's walking on water.
No, and he loves it. And he loves chasing the birds.
Like, if you shoot it cropped out enough, like...
Well, also, like, when Jesus was walking on water, he was still getting his feet wet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All the tricks that they do, like they basically put a piece of glass in a pool or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like that much water. So he's still like, as he lifts his feet, he's still, you still see him touching the water.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, fucking, you're so obsessed with Jesus. You were like, what about the walking on it? No, but I'll tell you, as a person too, look at my goddamn keychain.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's so that Jesus can give me a little hug.
Nice.
Also, he's like skydiving, or bungee jumping.
I love like what Jesus represents.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
In
the symbol,
in his purest form, like he is like love everybody.
Yeah, agape.
No matter what, like he was friends with the whores and all the sinners, and it's like, I'm like, that's what's wrong with these like established like.
Well, yeah, they want us
religions.
They want us to believe that sin is real, and in a real way, like Jesus barely talks about sin.
Yeah,
barely. He says, "He without sin cast the first stone," saying basically nobody is without sin. Number one, and then number two, his idea of sin was like literally If you read the text close enough, it's like being separated from God. And what he meant by that is like the indwelling feeling of God is like this kind of love for yourself and the whole world and all of nature and the whole universe. This is what meditation, fucking Buddhism, all of these people are trying to find this feeling of, like, even fucking Eckhart Tolle, that moment, that silence, right? This is the thing that Jesus was talking about, was the indwelling feeling of love for all things.
Yeah.
And if you're separated from that, if you are feeling hatred for your fellow man, that's what sin is.
Yeah.
That's to him what sin was. So the fact that they're basically saying, oh, I don't like you, they're like, you're the sinner. You're the one that's creating the sin.
Exactly.
You don't like fucking sex workers? Fucking don't use them, but don't fucking open your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want abortion? Fucking don't get one.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
it's just-
like
it's all
people
just social
give
control.
Jesus a lot of crap, and I'm like, don't give Jesus the crap.
No.
I'm like, it's these people who are saying they're preaching the word of God and Jesus, but they're actually preaching the opposite. You're picking that up.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to take a picture of it at least.
It is cool.
Yeah, I like the way it looks.
Did it fit?